Yeah, so today I feel like I'm all fired up. I kind of knew this was coming as soon as I had heard that the SecDef, the Secretary of Defense, was calling all of the general officers to DC. I'm like, this can't be good. I mean, what could possibly come out of that, given Secretary Hegseth's track record? Personally, I am of the mindset that anyone who wants to sacrifice their life for our country, do so. So the whole like we need to kick the transgenders out of the military as soon as possible. They have 30 days to get out. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, how many people, and maybe yourself included, did not step up and join the military? We are an equal opportunity employer. And when I look at a president who personally dodged the draft, I take offense to the way that he is deploying our military. The military is not your personal henchmen. They are not your pawns to move around a board so that you can show how powerful you are, and oh, I've got my personal military to do whatever I want to. It's ridiculous. And when I came back to the US, I was frustrated. I was frustrated when I would hear people say thank you for your service. And I had to really feel into why that was, because I knew that people were being nice. I knew that they were trying to be supportive, which is more than what the veterans coming back from Vietnam got. And what makes me angry is that I feel like they are empty words. When you sit back and you thank your soldiers for their sacrifice, and yet you don't take 5 minutes to understand what it is that they are actually doing, that you just go, oh great, they're going off to Iraq, they're going off to Afghanistan, they're deploying to our nation's capital, they're deploying to Los Angeles, they're deploying to Memphis. Now they're trying to deploy to Portland. And thank you, Portland, for actually like standing up and doing what's right. Like actually someone is a leader who will stand up to someone who is trying to use the military as their own personal pawns. And then I start listening to what's coming out of these meetings with Hegseth and the general officers, and this whole transition from Department of Defense to Department of War indicates exactly where we're headed. And if you don't see it, wake up. When we say, oh, I don't want a woke military, maybe we need to wake up. When our military is being deployed on American soil, when the person on ground, the leader on ground is saying, no, thank you, we don't need you, we've got this covered, then maybe you should start listening to the people on the ground instead of blindly just using your power however you think you want to. So if you're not angry, you should be, because the right, and you can see exactly where this is headed. This is just the beginning. And so if you really want to thank me, contact your leaders. And I use that word very loosely because I'll tell you, the governor of Tennessee is not a leader. He is a Trump puppet. And even Newsom, he can talk all he wants to, but he allowed the Guard to deploy into California. And thankfully Portland has stood up and they're doing what's right, but all of these other leaders are blindly using our military. And when I stand on a flight line in Iraq and I watch my friends being loaded into coffins draped with flags, and I ask myself, why are we here? And then I come home and I hear, thank you for your service. It makes me angry. So this is exactly what was getting activated in me when I retired from the military, when I came home and I was hearing these empty thank yous. So if you want to thank me, take 5 minutes to understand what it is that is happening right now, and take 5 minutes to send a message, to make a phone call to your congressman, to your governor, and to make it stop. Otherwise, this is what I'm asking you. Shut your mouth. Stop thanking me because your words are empty. Why I'm so infuriated, because we put a lot of thank you for your service. You're welcome. And I'm done being a pawn, and I'm done watching my fellow soldiers be a pawn. And now that I'm not in the military, I can really stand up